Welcome guys to another video. Today we're going to talk about 2022. Before the video starts, I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit of a thing that I noticed. Back in the old ancient days of 2021, I thought that the year was shit. I don't know why I thought that, but looking back on it, the year was amazing. Not everything went good, of course, you know, majority of the year sucked ass cheeks, but it's just that some of the things I remember it being pretty decent overall of the year, but I view it as complete doo-doo shit because of me maybe being in the middle of puberty. But it's not really about the fucking video. I mean, the video is about reviewing 2022, so we're gonna focus on that. And also, before the actual video starts, I'm not gonna be able to name every single thing here because it's just, let's just say it's the year of privacy, and a lot of the things I did this year is just, I don't know, it's just, I don't really want to mention it. And I think that's fine overall because it's not like I'm not gonna talk about anything this video. I'm just gonna like fucking stare at the screen without saying anything. I'm not even giving any commentary. I'm definitely gonna give some, you know, information on what I did this year, but I can't talk about these two people that I'm gonna talk about in this video. So just mentioning that real quick. So let's start with January. In January, I actually had probably the most fun in the whole year. The year started pretty well, actually. It was a really fun time. I met a lot of people during that time because I played this one game called Riot on Roblox, which I'm banned from now thanks to the goofy ass moderation in that game. Basically, what I got banned for is I don't know when I got banned, but it definitely was in the second half of the year. So I got banned from Riot because I was quote unquote using an extender. I think that's what they banned me for. I'm not exactly sure. Even though I had like a high ass ping only, I had like a ping of 2 billion, so I don't really know if they consider that, but what can I say? I'm banned now and there's no appeals, so I'm kind of just gone from that game, so I can't really experience the same thing I did back then. But you can either way because the map changed a lot, so whatever. Either way, I played that game in January a lot, and February I think was like the same time when I played that game a lot, and I met a lot of people and a lot of funny people where I actually could release my inner demons, if you know what I mean. Saying the most harmful shit you can think of, but not actually harming anyone because it's inside a little cube, I suppose, where everyone is the exact same or thinks the exact same, that has no boundaries, no rules, no boundaries, you know, like that. And basically no one there had any boundaries. That's what I'm trying to say over here, which is, I think, pretty good. If you don't have boundaries, I don't have to fucking respect them all the time. I think it's just very weak. Of course, you have plenty of your boundaries, like you can't joke about fucking child pornography all the time, but it's just, some boundaries are just some bullshit. Like, I can't call you specific things, like, because you get too insulted of them because it triggers your PTSD. Not my fault you were called tranny at school. And also, this is like the year when I transformed the most when it comes to hating on certain people. The only thing I can tell you guys is right now, I'm a bit transphobic now. I used to give every single trans person that I knew back then a chance. The only reason why I'm a bit transphobic now is, and hear me out, don't just start hating in the comments or some shit like that just because I said it right now, is only because every single trans person I ever met in my fucking life had the same reaction when I said something. Maybe when I talked about something a bit more controversial, whatever, that I heard their opinions and their feelings and whatnot. Even if I said something slightly incorrect in their opinion, they're fucking going rioting. Like, what do you expect me to think of that? After experiencing the same thing with every single trans person I've met in my entire life, what do you think I'm gonna do? Love him? Hell nah. So that's also like around the time, and I think February and January, that's when I turned a bit more transphobic because my inner demons were released and they did not come back to their cage. So there was this person called M, I'm just gonna nickname her like that owned the server. Remember M for later, she's gonna be very important. Now M owned the server and I was just kind of pretty active in there. I used to be very mad that this one guy that I knew actually transferred ownership to her because it just looks like you're a simp transferring a whole ass server to her, but I kind of just dealt with it like a week later and I didn't really care that much. Still was the same experience, having fun with my people over there in that group, so that was pretty fun. But I think in February was the same month where I actually blocked M. We were used to be friends, we always used to be fucking insulting each other left and right, like fucking smacking each other with insults, and I sometimes actually dropped the hardest shit you can think of. Like some shit that you'd hear from Pagout or something. Like some of these roasts were actually good, and they were horrible, of course. Everything I said in there was miserable, but it definitely, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit proud of myself for even dropping those kind of insults. Like, I roll paragraphs upon paragraphs of insulting people. You don't mess with my toxic me from back then, I'll tell you that much. I think I would have even found like 17 billion insults to throw against my own head. So, you know, it definitely was a time. Oh yeah, and also in this year, the start of the year, I was very toxic because of this game, because it made me very mad sometimes and upset. So I started dropping some bombs with certain things I said. I'm not gonna say what I said. You can guess what I said, buddy. But yeah, it was pretty fun going rioting with all these people in this game. And in February, I actually had a very intense argument with M, the owner of that server, to a point where I actually blocked them and never talked to them again. I'm joking, I talked to them again after I unblocked them. I don't even know when. But I think end of February, I blocked them, and I did not look back. I moved forward. I left the group, I left the server, I was gone. I was out of my right phase. So like a solid 2 weeks or something like that later, M decides to friend me back, and we just had some normal conversations. Until we started talking a little bit more and stuff like that, and playing a little bit more games and all that stuff, and spending more time with each other. She started to love me a little bit, let's just say. Started engaging into a sort of relationship, let's just say. And I'm gonna put it in quotes because it didn't last very long. Because a week later, we decided to go separate ways, or well, not really separate ways. We just weren't in a relationship anymore. The exact week later, and that's only because I decided to end it because of people's pressure doing the work. And I'm honestly kind of regretting listening to people because instead of listening to myself and what my gut says, because I probably could have still been in that sort of relationship. But of course, everything goes wrong in my life. Why not? Even we were planning a meeting in the summer, but it never happened. Who could have guessed? Shit was even planning whatever, you know, they had the money, they had the tickets, and they had all this stuff, but, well, they didn't have the tickets, but they had the money for it, and they would have done it if, we didn't fall out, like, a little bit later. Like, actually, like, start of April, or mid-April, I said, okay, well, go fuck yourself, because she started being very disrespectful, let's say, after I ended the relationship, and it wasn't really that enjoyable of an experience talking to her every single day, and her literally saying, I do not care about you anymore, even though I still had a little bit of butterflies in my stomach. Hearing that from someone you like isn't very good, let's just say. It wasn't like I was completely dipping her either. It was like I still had her in my friends and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know why she just turned fucking sideways 130 degrees. But oh well, what can I say? So around mid-April, I started to talk a bit like about it and shit like that, how I'm not gonna be, I'm gonna be unfriending or whatever. And actually, ever since I said that, and ever since that day, I never talked to her again. I only had like a message that I edited in the chat saying happy birthday to her because it was her birthday in May or something. Man, the next thing that actually happened, there wasn't actually much things going on after April. Or during April. May wasn't really that interesting either, but in June, fucking June, or actually I think in May, yeah, a girl called, we're gonna call her, I don't know, Criminality, let's just name her Criminality, decides to friend me back. I made a video called Suspicious Happenings before, and basically explaining that it was very weird on how they offended me and shit, just correlating and bumping to each other. Either way, that video was kind of just theories and whatever. Nothing really was true. It was just, she wasn't in my life before, and she friended me back and saying and explaining what exactly happened, because she randomly unfriended me in the middle of a conversation. So after she did that, also she friended me back in May, but I actually saw the friend request, and I never accepted it until June, like mid of June. I think it was the 14th, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was the 14th. Pretty sure. So yeah, I friended her back on the 14th of June, and we just had a little chit chat. Eventually we became friends again, and had a little bit of a conversation, I guess. We DM'd each other every single day, but that would lead into the worst 2 weeks of my life, or the worst week of my life. I'm pretty sure it only was a week, and I can't remember it being more. So yeah, that 1 week was the worst week in this year. Not in my life maybe, but the year. And I think most of my thoughts changed around that time, because when that happened, the whole 1 week thing with her, my entire mind gotten also sideways 130 degrees like M about females, so I really don't want to engage in any more relationships, basically. It's my current state of mind, but back then I wasn't. So in June we had a little chit chat. Now we voice chat and whatever. She didn't talk. She never really showed any evidence of her actually being a girl, but I remember that someone said that she was in fact a girl because that they had pictures of her, which they showed me, just not, you know, the face was blurred and shit like that. But she existed with her name attached to it, so, you know, it was confirmed. But keep in mind, I didn't actually know that at the time. I didn't have these correlations, these people, or the person telling me that they were a girl. So I never actually knew if they were an actual girl or a catfish. So, over talking to her, she kept showing me certain things that, you know, are leading to her being a girl, but I also checked every single file name if it was actually from her, which is, man. My god, I got in a far step just looking for if it was a catfish or not. At one point I was literally forcing her to see, but she didn't even want to make a noise, which made me really suspicious. Now, I kind of fell in love with her a little bit, but not really, but then again, yes, because I did like her a lot. And it got to a point where we would voice chat every single day and be on that call. It was kind of not healthy, because the only thing that was on my mind was her all the time. It sounds like a simple lover story, but that's not only it. She would proceed not to show me anything, any proof of her being what she is. So I was getting more suspicious and I was getting more heartbroken over it. Which then we also played a lot of games and whatnot. Doesn't really matter. We gamed, I guess. We had a little bit of time with each other and shit like that. We did a lot of things, and there was this one Monday when she was planning on actually revealing her voice. But the problem with that is that she didn't actually do it. She was gone for like 90 minutes or 2 hours, I think. And just thinking of this one Monday, of this one day out of the entirety, makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate to think about it. Because it was such a bad and miserable day. And keep in mind, I'm usually always in this room that I'm currently in, which I'm recording in as well. Which is basically at my grandma's, in this one room. Everything here happened. Everything you can think of happened in this very room. Informations, basically. Gaming. Whatever the fuck. It happened in this very room. And in my mom's house, or something like that, only the bad things happened, so of course I like this room. I like the design of this room. I like that I have a whole fucking library next to me. I guess it's actually true. I have like a lot of books next to me, like on my right side. So I like this room a lot. I would die for this room. If this room got taken away, my life would be over. So yeah, just telling you how much I like this room. Now on this Monday, I was at my mom's house, so I didn't have the same comfort level that I usually have. And it's on itself, it was a shit day. So I was talking to her, and then she was saying, "I'm gonna set my mic. BRB. Be right back." 90 minutes? Are you serious? She was gone for 90 minutes and I was just kind of sitting there. Now, I was a bit sad overall because I just wanted her to come back. I was a little bit in love, I guess. I was getting heartbroken thinking about the wrong stuff. I listened to sad songs, which is the only reason why I don't listen to fucking rappers no more. I listen to occasional Drake, but only if the song is 100% good vibes. 100%, 101% actually. Because that Monday I listened to sad songs and then I just took a little nap of 30 minutes around that. And waking up from that 30-minute nap was probably the worst way to wake up. I don't know why, but after that I had the worst feeling in my life. It was a feeling of being in love, heartbroken, in disgust, and sad at the same time. That was not a good combo, and I'll tell you that much. I vividly remember how it was, but I don't fully remember it because my brain's blocking out the memory of how it felt like. So I was sitting there, or laying there, and I had to call a friend, because if this feeling wouldn't go away in the next minute, I'm done. I'm pulling a knife and I'm killing myself. So I had to call a friend, and fortunately enough, my friend was online. That I'm no longer friends with, but she was online. I can actually name her. Mute. That's what she's called. She was online, and I had to just instantly go to her DMs and say, "We need to voice chat right now. I'm feeling like absolute doo-doo water." So we hopped on a call, and I just kind of, I don't know, I had like my first mental breakdown on that call, and in general I had a mental breakdown there. And I thought I had a mental breakdown in 2021, but no. That was an actual mental breakdown that I experienced right there. The reason why I know that is because I was completely fucking destroyed. I felt like absolute shit. I don't know. Again, as I said in my other video, the update video, I struggle with mental health quite a lot. A lot. And I usually always feel bad or shit or whatever. Usually that's what I felt like back then. But I never felt in like this shit ever before. I did not only feel sad, I was feeling like at the bottom. It's like really hard to explain in words, but it was just a bad feeling. So yeah, I kind of just had to cry a little bit and shit like that on the call and whatnot. And then, well, guess what? She comes back, criminality comes back, and hits me with the, "Hi, sorry that it took so long," or whatever the fuck she said, I don't remember. Then I said, "Let's VC," and I voice chat with her. Probably the worst decision of my life. Voice chatting after and had the mental breakdown over that girl, basically. So yeah, I was going back on a voice chat with criminality, and she didn't talk. Even though she said she would. Now, of course, me being me, I was just minding my own business, you know, whatever. We just did what we ever did. Gamed. Also, the only reason why why I liked her so much, because we flirted back and forth. Like, we did some love type shit all the time, which is the reason why I was a bit in love as well. But, basically, one day, her entire mood switched from being all lovely to being an absolute whore. Miserable shit. So, she calls these mood swings, by the way, and her mood swings look a little like, complete personality change, basically, like some bipolar shit. So she had this mood swing for like 3 days straight. So what I kind of did one of those days, I think it was the day before she said I don't want to be friends with you anymore, which was the most relieving shit ever. I got into a little bit of an argument with her and shit like that, which we usually get, but I would just stay back, you know, keep my calm. But for that day, I wasn't really feeling that calm anymore. I wasn't feeling lovely. I wasn't feeling romantical anymore. I was feeling like being toxic. So I argued back with her and basically called her out for all the bullshit she was saying, and she got very, very upset and mad. And then she stopped talking to me, and I was like, okay, bye. Then the next day later, she's like, I don't want to be friends no more. And I'm like, okay, come again, I guess. And you know, then I pissed off, and she pissed off. And yeah, it was definitely the experience of all time. At least we ended on a good note, or a peaceful note, until she eventually started to talk behind my back and whatnot. But then I talked behind her back as well, so, you know, it's whatever. Also calling it the most abominable shit you can think of. So yeah, I did my job pretty well. Anyways, that was kind of it with June. Prime Month wasn't really that good, and that was it. I don't really know what I did the whole time. I did just videos and whatnot, like what I usually do. And then in July, I made a few videos. I made Pixel at Pixels, which was basically me calling Pixels out for being a fag and not uploading for like a whole year straight. So then on July 31st, he drops his video. I drop my video, congratulating him for not uploading. And then my grandpa died on the same day. That video dropped so hard, my grandpa dropped fucking dead. What the hell? But to be serious about it for a second, that was probably one of the worst days of my life. I joke about it now here and there because that's how I do it when I'm traumatized by something or whatever. That's how I cope. I'm not joking about his personality or character or whatever, that would be haram, but I'm joking about the death itself. And why the video had to drop in the same day my grandpa died. What the flip? Anyways, I made another video explaining the whole situation, what my grandpa meant to me and whatnot, and how the death went and all that shit. I'm not gonna summarize it here because I can't, that's just how it is. But if you want to watch the video, it's called An End of an Era. You can find it easily on my channel. I think it's like one of the most recent videos, I think 4 months ago, I'm not exactly sure. So if you want to know what exactly happened on that day and how it felt and whatnot, it's 30 minutes long. If you want to watch it, it's there, I guess. Also goes into detail, exactly what's going on there, because I like the details. I like saying, speaking about details and like when details are given to me. So yeah, that's what I did. A little contribution for my grandpa, making a video about him. But to really like put it in perspective, you have my grandpa, which was my family favorite forever, doesn't matter, died on that day, and it was like the most painful way to die. He suffocated from stage 4 cancer, and his lungs were just like fucked in the ass, basically. Basically, half the lungs didn't even exist. Like, I think a whole lung was gone at the end. I'm not exactly sure, though. I'm just gonna guess it, because in 2021, at the end of the year, when he got his diagnosis for stage 4 cancer, one of his lungs was half gone. So, by that logic, 7 months later, the lung should be completely gone, right? I mean, that's how I'm gonna guess it right now, because, well, that's how it is. But then again, my grandpa had cancer for like a solid 4 years. That's what my grandma guessed, because he looked very sick and was very sick 4 years ago, but it's a very slow growing cancer, so that might actually be true. Even in 2017, he didn't look that healthy. He looked very, well, I wouldn't say weak. He didn't look weak, but he definitely wasn't in the best shape, let's just say. He also looked a bit fucked up around the eyes, so, you know, I mean, I think she's right. She has a good eye for it. So, yeah. So yeah, he suffocated from not having enough lungs to even consume air. It was something, man. Because my grandma was in the same room as him when he died, and she experienced it all. I only experienced half of it because I didn't get the full experience. Like, I knew I had a dying grandpa. Like, I was in the room like 2 hours earlier just to check up on him and whatnot. But then like 2 hours later, he'd fucking died. And my grandma got me as soon as possible, of course, but I don't think, like, my grandma experienced his last breath, and they were together for 40 years. I think that's pretty fucking sad overall. You know, seeing my grandpa dead, like, I didn't actually have any emotions, really, at first, because it's just like, what am I gonna react with? I just don't know, and my brain didn't know either. Even my human reactions, my human emotions didn't know what to fucking feel in that moment, besides shocked. Like, I was standing in front of my grandpa for, like, after 3 seconds, seeing him like that, I got the shock. After 3 seconds, yeah, my reaction time is ass. But yeah, I didn't really feel anything until a couple of people took my grandpa into a coffin and then took him with him, you know, so that they could burn him to ashes and put him into a little thing. But yeah, they took a bit of clothes after a couple of days, and then, you know, suited him for the machine that burns him. But, you know, overall, I just don't know yet how to feel about it. I'm not, of course, not as sad as I used to be. But in the same day, I had, like, also another mental breakdown. But I was just so fucking sad. Oh my god. I remember being in this room, I didn't know what to do with myself for, like, a good 3 minutes. Until I got eventually better, and I hopped on my laptop and had some fun. Of course, I informed everyone about it. It was a big day in the history books. But nowadays, how I cope with it is either I joke about it, or I look up to my grandpa and pray to God, which is my grandpa. I don't believe in any god. I'm not religious, but if there's a god in the heavens, it probably is my grandpa. My personal one, at least. That's just really how I cope with it. I don't really have another way to cope with it. Now, after July 31st, nothing really notable happened. Like, I don't remember much happening. I just kind of wasted my time overall, not really doing much. Besides, you know, starting a game called Inbounder. By the way, if you have any scripters, please contact me. I'm desperate. Yeah. But that's the only thing I did. I don't actually know when I started Inbounder, but it was like this September, I think. There was like a bit of progress made, but not like major progress that would benefit the game, goddammit. And there's no goddamn people on this planet that are willing to goddamn help me for a couple of Robux. Like, I made a whole video, I made 2 whole videos about it. This is the 3rd one. And I'm not going anywhere, buddy. The only place I go is goddamn Hale or some shit. I don't even know anymore. But yeah, then nothing really happened. I just kind of did my own thing, did some videos, you know, as per usual. But I think in November I actually met up with a childhood friend of mine, which is a girl. Damn, I have some fucking riz. I'm meeting up with a girl, no way. This is insane news, guys. I'm just kidding, of course. But, you know, I met up with this one girl, and it was pretty nice to be out with someone real and all that, just to see her again after so many years. What a refreshing little thing. Oh, she's tall as fuck, and she's only 14. She's like, I don't know, fucking towering above me. And I'm 6 foot. Keep that in mind. November, not much really happened. It's just like normal stuff. I did a video with Luderpup, actually, in November. VR funnies was pretty good. It was a pretty good video. Maybe a bit too long. I could have cut it. I could have cut some stuff out, but overall it was a pretty decent video. Yeah. I also failed No Nut November on the 4th of November. Yeah, I only was 4 days and I already failed. I was just way too hard. Like, I just had to jerk one off. But hey, new high score. I usually lose on day 2 or 3. Now on December, I actually did probably the most things out of the entire year. I'm joking, I didn't. Actually, kind of nothing much happened in December. It was just kind of one of the most ordinary months of my life. Which, you know, it's currently the 28th December, so December's still ongoing, but I think Sylvester's gonna be pretty decent because I actually have a lot of explosives I can explode in Sylvester. So I'm definitely a bit hyped for that, but overall, I'd say I'm definitely ready for the new year. And probably when this video drops, it's gonna be the January 1st or something. I don't know. On January 2nd, I'm gonna go somewhere where I get paid 1 goddamn euro an hour. So definitely a scam, but I'm joking. I don't really have to do much there. It's just fucking nothing, kinda. If I go there here and there, I can buy myself like a steak or some shit. So hey, what can I say? Now overall, what would I rate this year? It definitely was a weird year. I don't remember too much doing in this year because there wasn't much going on this year besides the whole grandpa death situation. But you know, as time progresses, that's what I have to say. But what would I rate this year? I would say a 6 or a 5. Actually, it was perfect in the middle. I think 5 was balanced. I had some fun, but man, the second half really shouldn't have happened. If the first half was just it, and that's it, everything before June 1st, or before May 1st, or before April 1st, would have been a good year. So, yeah, I guess that kind of carried the year to being a 5 more than fucking 1. So, it definitely just was one of those years where I just have to think what I'm gonna do next. I did some videos, so I'm pretty proud of myself even for doing videos in the first place. As you know, I like doing videos. Maybe I'll get big with it. I don't think so, but if I blow enough videos, eventually it'll happen with my 2 views per video. Let's go. But to eventually bring this video to an end because this video has been too long, goddamn. But then again, it's a review video, so what can I say? Damn, the thumbnail for this video is gonna be fucking hard to make. Because last video, or last look back video, review, whatever you want to call it, I actually knew what I was doing, but this year I don't. God fucking damn. Now, not only that, but it's just, what am I gonna put in the thumbnail? I can't put much in the thumbnail besides my videos. Also, a pretty honorable mention that I'm gonna have to make here is so first honorable mention is that I actually got banned in Roblox today. This is the ban note I'm gonna put on the screen here, which is kind of funny because it actually happens like very early on into the year, but I didn't actually mention it earlier. I don't know why. I kind of forgot about it, I guess, but here it is. Now too. This year I uploaded some of the cozy deluxes, you might say. I actually kind of want to figure out if any of you can find those because it definitely, I mean, I talked about everything in there, kinda. Like, I gave the first actual video was a pretty good speech of mine that motivated me, that motivated people. But for the other ones, I don't really know. It was just kind of deluxes, I guess. I'm not gonna publish them ever, but if there has to be some, then you can find them in my old server if you join it. I don't even know if there's a link for it anymore, but whatever. You guys do you. First, a cozy deluxe video, I mentioned how my grandparents mean the world to me, and if they died, I don't know what I would do. July 31st. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.